Ho, ho, ho! Welcome back to J.I. Colorist, where we are counting down Christmas and we are getting really close. We are using the Festive Coloring book, which is 24 Advent Windows color. It's actually way more than that. This is a huge book. It's shaped like a house. The illustrator's name is in the video description because I cannot pronounce it and I do not want to offend anybody. We are on day 22. Woohoo! Really excited about that. And this page I have been looking forward to coloring for quite a while. It is called the Winter Art Center and it's presenting the Nutcracker. And this is what the building looks like on the outside. On the inside there actually is a stage with a beautiful Christmas tree, some presents, and the Nutcracker ballet is going on. So it's very Christmassy. There's a lot more festive stuff going on this page than the outside page, but there is a little bit of Christmas decorations up top, so we will be able to do some of that. But when I looked at this page, I'm like, it's presenting the Nutcracker, but there's no Nutcracker on this page. So what I have decided to do is alter this page a little bit. I am going to try to do collage in 2025. So I thought I would start at the end of the year and do a little bit of collage. There is this great big open area right here, and I thought that would be perfect to have a Nutcracker. I am not great at drawing those, so I knew I had a Nutcracker page in Johanna's Christmas, and this is a book that I own, so I went and I have photocopied this page onto some white paper that's a little bit thicker, almost like cardstock, but it's not quite cardstock. And anyways, I took this picture and I shrunk it down with my photocopier at home, and I printed out those four, shrunk down to this size. Then I picked one of them and I colored it with Pitt pens and some gel pens, and I'm going to cut it out and I'm going to insert him right here, and he's going to stand guard right there. So that's the plan. Wish me luck. I've never done this before. If you are somebody that collages on your coloring books, I'd love to hear any tips or tricks in the comments below. Like, what kind of glue do you use? Do you use Mod Podge on top afterwards? Like all the things, because I am new to this. And yeah, so I'm going to do a little bit of experimenting. First we'll pick a color palette for this theater, and then we will get cracking on adding a Nutcracker. All right, if that's something that interests you, then go grab a drink. I will try to keep this video to a little less than Wednesday's video, which was 52 minutes. Typically my videos are about half an hour to 40 minutes, so I will try for that here. But better go grab yourself a drink and a snack, and I will grab my Sarah Renee color palettes. Since I have already colored this ahead of time, I'm actually going to take my Fisker's guillotine cutter, paper cutter, and cut this guy out, and then I'll fussy cut around him a little bit. But I thought I wanted to cut him out, and I wanted to use a paper cutter so that these other three can be kind of backups for me. So now I have three backups just in case this experiment goes badly. Also, I can perhaps put these in some other coloring books later on, or make them into tiny bookmarks. Okay, I'll put the light back on, and I am going to take some scissors and fussy cut around him. I think that would be safer than me using a scalpel because this is a little bit thicker paper. So I will do that off camera so that you're not cringing watching me cut. All right, I'll be right back. All right, I have selected a color palette. It is from box number 1, and it is color palette 212, and it has umber, scarlet, tangerine, apricot, and pistachio. So these are all the colors that I'm going to use. I have selected a few Artex acrylic markers, the paint pens, from the original series. So I will accent with these. And I've also selected a couple of polychromos pencils, one which I need to resharpen. The rest have been sharpened, and they are from the Brutfuner Macaron set, and they are pastel pencils. So I've selected those for now. I may come in with some glaze pens, I think for the candies and stuff, but overall, when I think of the buildings, at least in my city, a lot of them are sandstone, so they have a lot of brickwork, but they're still light in color. So that is kind of what I was thinking, which is what drew me to this palette, because these kind of colors would go nice, and yet we still have some Christmas colors. So there's quite a few Christmas palettes in the box number 1. So I haven't even gone to box number 2 too often. Once in a while I have, but all I did was look up the word Christmas in the word search on my color catalog volume 1 on my iPad, and then it tells me which palettes to go look at, and then I can go pull the cards. So I do use in conjunction both the PDF version of the color catalog and the color cubes themselves, just in case you were having difficulty finding all the palettes in your color cube. That's how I do it. Okay, so I have not glued him down. I have fussy cut him out. I didn't do between his legs and between his arms, because that's just asking for trouble for me anyways, and I did leave a little bit of white around him, which is fine because the page is also white. I'm not sure if a person should be gluing him down before they color or after they color. I am going to color this first and then glue him down and then merge the colors onto it. But if you have experience with that and suggest me doing a different way, then leave that down in the comments. But for now, I'm going to do it that way. I am going to line his feet up with the bottom of the page, or just slightly above, so that he is standing guard. And he's about the size of the door, so I thought it was a good size for them. So yeah, I think he will fit nicely there. So I'm just gonna drop the camera down and start coloring, and maybe we'll actually go and do a little bit of trivia about the Nutcracker and what that ballet is all about. And there you go. All right, let's drop the camera. So I'm going to start on the brickwork first, and as I mentioned, I'm going to kind of do it a little bit like sandstone. So I'm going to use my lightest color for the actual brick, and then I'm going to shade it. This says umber, but it's kind of a gray. So I'm actually going to use a warm gray 3. So I'm kind of lightening this up even more, but I want to shade with the gray. So I'm going to come in and color. So this is shell pink. Going to color that, and then I'll come in. Let me zoom you in a little bit more if we can. And then I'm going to shade with the gray. During this video, I'm going to do a voiceover explaining the story of the Nutcracker Ballet. And I'll come back in with the pink and blend that in, and that'll deepen up the pink a little bit as well. So hopefully that that looks good, and when I place him on top, you'll still see the bricks and the gray behind him, but I'm not going to do red for the bricks. And hopefully my little guy stands out. So I'll do a few of these with you together, and then I'll go off and complete this on my own. And I just thought it would be a nice change to do the bricks a little bit of a different color. In today's video, the background music is the music from 2 songs from the Nutcracker, and both are by Tchaikovsky. The names of the songs are Dance of the Sugar Plum Fairy and Waltz of the Flowers. Bricks take a long time, just so you know. But if you take your time with the bricks, it usually is worth it in the end. So that's how the bricks are going to look. I'll go off and finish that. That'll take me quite a while, so it won't take you very long, but you will see the bricks finished in just a minute. Okay, back in a bit. Just a small note. Probably should have done this before I fussy cut him out, but I used the same color pencil that the brickwork is, and I colored all the white areas around him. But yeah, I think I should have done that before I fussy cutted, so that the little edges here, it wasn't so hard to color, because I did leave a little bit of white around the guy. And then once I've placed him, I can take a micron pen and add the lines that are missing, like between his legs and stuff. There will be a couple of brick lines that are missing, so I will do that. But yeah, so note to self, if I'm going to be adding color to this, I should do that probably before I cut out in the future. All right, learning something new here. I did leave his face white because quite often the Nutcracker's faces are white, so I did leave him white. I'm just doing a little bit more gray shading around here. I just wanted to kind of place him and see how he was looking, and then I remembered I needed to do that coloring in between his legs and such. So getting close to being done this, and I'm looking forward to I'm going to glue him down so that he's drying and gluing, or the glue is drying while I'm coloring the rest of the page. But that's another thing. Should I wait to the very end, or should I place him now? I kind of want him placed now so that I can kind of tie him into the rest of the page. But I did use the paint marker to do the top line there, and I did both sides the same. So this is how he's looking. I think I'm just going to use white glue. I do have some sticky tape and stuff, but I'm concerned that the sticky tape is going to add a few extra bumps and raise him up a little bit, and I don't want as many bumps on this side of the page as possible, so I thought glue might be the best option. But if you have done this before and you know what is better, then yeah, let me know in the comments below. But that's how he's going to look. I'm just going to use white glue, so this is just washable crafting glue. Put some glue on the back of him and make sure it's well covered. This glue comes out pretty quick, so I'm gonna have to, I'll just put it in the center of him, and then I'll smear it around with a silicone tip tool. And I think I'm going to give the glue just a second to get tacky, so that when I put him down he actually sticks. Otherwise he may just slide out and the glue is probably just going to ooze everywhere. I do want it to go to all the edges. I'm going to let that just kind of tack up a little bit. Like give it 30 seconds or so, and then I will flip him over and place him down. And okay, I'm going to line him up basically with the bottom, and I'm putting him in the center. I'm going to put a this down, and then I'm going to put something else heavy on top. So it's more fun to color outside the lines. We're going to put him on there and let him set. And while he's setting, I will do the bricks on this side. Since I'm waiting for other things to dry, I thought I'd bring out my red glaze pen and go ahead and do the candy canes and the peppermints, and let them dry as well, because then I can have multiple things drying on this page while I take a break and go for lunch. So I have looked at the peppermint here, and I counted the number of items on here to make sure that the it would work if I went red, white, red, white, red, white, because I have had times before in books where I started alternating colors and it was the count did not work. So I have learned to count ahead of time now. And then if it doesn't work, I can either use more than 2 colors, or I can add another line to make it work, but it did work this time, so yay. So I'm going to put the red glaze on, going to leave the white alone, and so that will be the white of the paper, and I may come in with a white gel pen to make some marks on it, but this is what we're going to do for now. So those are our candies, and we'll let those dry. All right, this little guy has, if you see the size of him, have zoomed you in. I'm going to now take a micron in 0.03, making sure that it's black because I do have some brown microns, and I'm just going to go and put in the lines so that he blends in, hopefully seamlessly. The Nutcracker story starts in Germany on Christmas Eve in the 1820s, where a family and friends gather in the parlor to decorate the Christmas tree, and once the Christmas tree is finished, the children are summoned. And I think that just helps with the trick of the eye. I think I'm pleased with that. I think that this is all okay. I think I'm going to leave him as that for now. I'm not going to do a bunch of shading around him. I'm just going to leave him like that until the very end in case I've changed my mind. But I think that for the first thing, he's well placed. He's glued down. He doesn't seem to be lifting at all. So I do think that the heavy thing and letting the glue get tacky for a little bit first has certainly helped. All right, let's do something else on our page now. Just working on the doors here. I've done gold for the handles and some light brown with green gold polychromos for the inside of the door, and then I'm using 3 different browns. I'm using dark sepia 175, Bister 179, and green gold 268. So I've started by first putting down some of the sepia to kind of give some wood grain like that, and then I've come in with the Bister to go over everything, and then the green gold on top of all of that. And then I'm going to take my Gamsol and blend it all together. But that's how the doors are looking. So none of these, only this one right now has had the green gold, so I will do the green gold on top of this one. So the green gold is the lightest brown, and that's just gonna give a few little polished highlights to the wood, because I'm thinking these are older doors that are well waxed and taken care of. I have done the glaze here as well, so that's dried, and over here I did the gold gel pen, Signo gel pen for the outside, and then dual hybrid gold for the sparkly inside. So that's what we've done so far, but I will just finish off these doors and do some blending. I have brought in the I wish they had color names, so maybe the future ones do, but this color here, it's the apricot color. It's actually a combination between tangerine and apricot. So I did that there as well as here. All right, the pencil is laid down, and I'm going to come along and activate it now, or blend it with the Copic sketch marker, which has Gamsol in it, and I am using the brush tip end. Once the children are summoned, the party begins and presents are handed out to the children. And this just helps get rid of any of the white of the paper and blend the 3 layers of pencil together without having to kill my hand. I don't often burnish. I usually layer and then blend. So that is what it's going to look like. So this is the difference right here. When the owl-topped grandfather clock strikes 8, a mysterious figure enters the room. It is Drosselmeyer. He is a magician and also Clara's grandfather. He is a talented toy maker who has brought with him gifts for the children, including 4 lifelike dolls. I'm going to do the casing around this window in gold, and that's because there's brass around the door and it gets really beautiful, and it's all polished and stuff, and I thought that this kind of reminded me of that. This gold is a little bit on the bronzy color. And then I'm going to make these windows, and I'm going to put some kind of glaze on top of it. So I'm not sure if I'll use the white pearl on top of that, but I definitely am going to put some type of glaze on the window or acrylic paint. Finish off this, and I'm going to try very hard not to put my hand in the gel pen. So wish me luck. If you've been following the channel for a while, you know that I usually smear something while I'm coloring, and I usually end up with stuff all over my page or my hands. The final thing that I'm doing to the doors is just finishing off with the windows. I'm using a warm gray number 2, and this is one of the Brut Fruner Macaron pencils, and I'm just adding a bit of gray to the window pane, actual glass, and then I am going to, if you can see this one on this side, I've added the dragonfly glaze, and I've gone for the glaze. I'll show you how I'm going to apply it. Just using my little Meeden palette here. I just love this little palette, and I'm using a small flat paintbrush, and I am applying it directly onto the paper. So this is a folk art dragonfly glaze, and it is in the violet blue green shift, and I'm going right over top of the whole thing because this whole window is glass, the whole door, going right over top of that crossbar because that crossbar is on the inside of the window. And you don't need a lot, so just a thin coat. It dries pretty quickly. You definitely want to make sure that you're doing this over pencil though, or a pigment type pen, because it will activate any water-based medium. So see the reflection a little bit better. Okay, time to move up the rest of the page and get some of that done. Here's how the Nutcracker sign turned out in green. So I think that looks okay. I'm going to shift the page up a bit. I'm going to bring in some more greens for this little motif right here. I'm thinking maybe the background of the building will have to be a light gray. Normally I have the background done first, so I'm a little bit nervous about that, but okay. We've got this element up here. I kind of would like to make this look kind of like a wreath. So I was thinking about doing either a green and gold and red, or I think I'm going to do a darker green. So I'm going to go around, and then I'll zoom you in a bit. Kind of want it to be darker on the edge and then kind of come in. Maybe even come in with the lightest green, so that there is green in the center, but it's not super dark. And then that would also help make it look rounded. And then if I did that all the way around, I could still come in with a gold marker and make these, or with a red metallic, and do these stripes with a metallic marker. So that's, yeah, I think that's, I'll continue on with the green first and see how that looks. After the children play with the dolls for a little while, they were put away for safekeeping, and the kids were sad to see the dolls being taken away. However, Drosselmeyer had yet another toy for them, a wooden Nutcracker doll. Clara immediately takes a liking to it, but Fritz accidentally breaks it, and Clara is heartbroken. But Drosselmeyer fixes the Nutcracker, much to everyone's relief. Then I'll come back with the darker green. Because I don't need a huge stripe, but I do need some light in the center. Always keeping the darkest green, the solid, on the very inside and the very outside. During the night, after everyone else has gone to bed, Clara returns to the parlor to check on the Nutcracker. As she reaches the small bed, the clock strikes midnight, and she looks up to see Drosselmeyer perched atop it. Suddenly, mice begin to fill the room, and the Christmas tree begins to grow to dizzying heights. The Nutcracker also grows to life size, and Clara finds herself in the midst of a battle between an army of gingerbread soldiers and the mice led by their king. I'll continue on and I'll be back when this is finished. All right, I have zoomed the camera out so that you can see where we're at. I really like how the wreath turned out. I did a background color of using a Pitt pen in Cold Gray 1, so my lightest gray. So that is the background. I haven't done this area around here yet. Still not sure what I want that to be. And I also am kind of questioning what this area is here. So I'll drop the camera back down, but this is how everything else is looking before I do that. And there's some lights, some shimmer there. So yeah, like how the overall effect is coming together, and still have stuff to do up top. So let me lower the camera and we'll take a look at what I think are windows. So looking at this area right here, I am kind of envisioning this as so these are lights, so like the bulb, little bulb type lights. So I was thinking of doing this in the gold gel pen, and then have these as sparkly lights, all the little dots. And then this is actually a window into the inside, and these are curtains. Whenever I think of curtains, I think about like red velvet curtains. So since red is on our list, I thought I could do these curtains in red, and then I was worried that it might be a little bit too much red, and then I could do them as gray. But I think red is probably more likely what they are. So I think that these are curtains, and then this whole thing is glass. So the curtains are on the inside of the window. So that's how I'm interpreting it. Comment below how you think this is. Do you think this is just curtains and a window, or do you think this is just outside decoration on the building? I'd be interested in knowing what you thought. So that's what I'm going to do it as. I'm going to start, and I'm going to use colored pencil for the red. I also thought about putting some dragonfly glaze on here. I don't want to go over the little girl though, the little ballerina. I think she looks pretty the way she is. So I'm not sure, so I didn't do that yet, but I will put dragonfly glaze along here for sure after I've got the red curtains done. So I will grab some of that. I did do the Nutcracker in red glaze, and I think that that stands out and looks nice. I did use the for the top along there, I did use an Artex dark green marker, so that kind of added a little bit there, and I used the same green here to tie the top down to the bottom. So that's where we're at. The grays and peach color or apricot color, I think everything is looking good, and happy with how this is turning out so far. There's still a few little things to go here, but I thought I would do the red here first, and the bronze or the gold. All right, let me grab some red polychromos pencils and we'll get started. Okay, looking at my color with Claire Polychromos family color chart, I have picked scarlet red, so that's 118. Then I have picked deep scarlet red, 219, so I'm kind of skipping, and then the darkest color is 218, which is mid cadmium red. So I've got these three colors so that there's some definite difference between them, so I can do some shading. The lightest color will be obviously in the center, and then we'll have some darker colors on the outside. So that's where we're gonna go. I'm not great at doing a lot of fabric. I don't actually do many fabrics, so we'll have to see how this goes. So that was the scarlet red 118, and this is 219, which is just scarlet red. The Nutcracker appears to lead the gingerbread men, who are joined by tin soldiers and by dolls who serve as doctors to carry away the wounded. And then we've got the middle cadmium red 217. So I'm just kind of placing some colors down right now. This is not how it will look in the end. The battle continues, and as the seven-headed Mouse King advances on the still wounded Nutcracker, Clara throws her slipper at him, distracting him long enough for the Nutcracker to stab him. All of the different shades down, and then we can blend in. I'm taking my lightest and blending with it. The mice retreat, and the Nutcracker is transformed into a human prince. He leads Clara through the moonlit night to a pine forest in which the snowflakes dance around them, beckoning them on to his kingdom as the first act ends. Act 2 is in the land of the sweets, where Clara and the prince travel to the beautiful land of sweets, ruled by the Sugar Plum Fairy, in the prince's place until his return. He recounts for her how he was saved from the Mouse King by Clara and transformed back into himself. We're just going to leave that for now and continue on. I know it doesn't look great, but I'm hoping by the time I get a few of these done, then I'll be able to kind of visualize. In honor of Clara's heroism, a celebration of sweets from around the world is produced, including chocolate from Spain, coffee from Arabia, tea from China, and candy canes from Russia, all dancing for their amusement. To conclude the night, the Sugar Plum Fairy and her cavalier perform a dance. Not sure that looks great. I think I'm kind of failing at fabric, so I will just shut the camera off here and finish off these areas, and then I'll be back to make the window part. All right, see you back shortly. All right, this is how it turned out. I'm not super thrilled with it, but I don't think it looks terrible either. Obviously, I think I need to spend a bit more time learning how to do fabric. So if anybody has a person that they follow that does a really good fabric tutorial, leave a comment below. I'd love to check out their channel and learn a little bit more. I am going to try and take my gel pen and put some accents on here. I just don't have any luck with gel pens. I always get tracks on them. I'm not sure if it's because I use it over pencil mostly, and it just doesn't like to do it. All right, I'm gonna zoom you in. I've given up on gel pens. I'm using some Hawaiian acrylic gouache in white and a tiny paintbrush, and just dipping it in. I'm just following along the lines of the illustrator. Comment below if you have ever seen the Nutcracker ballet in person or on TV and what you thought. At least the lines show up. I might do a couple along here. All right, there we go. And I tried to do some lines on the peppermint earlier with the gel pen, and it just wasn't great, so I'm gonna do some lines here. So again, I got 2 lines done there, but I'll just use some of the paint. There we go. Okay, that worked better. May just have to keep this gouache and small paintbrush around more often. And I mean, this is the Signal broad gel pen that everybody swears by, but it doesn't seem to want to ever go well for me. Okay, I'm going to do the background, and I want there to be some light coming through this window, so I'm going to go grab a cream color, I think, and or ivory. Let me just check. I'm going to start with the ivory, and I might add a bit of cream. I've gone and gotten a few of my spare polychromos out because I've been using them so much. They've trying to not have them be so tiny. So just to bring a bit more of that color out, and then I will do the dragonfly glaze over the glass so that it looks definitely like a window. And then I'm going to leave you for today, and I will finish this off, and then you'll see it in just a couple of weeks when we do the unveiling of all of these pages. If you have been coloring along, don't forget to send me your page and include your name on your page, your picture, so that you can get the credit. If you don't include your name, then I am going to edit your photo and include it, because it's important that everybody has their name attached to their photo. I'm going to wait for this acrylic paint just to set just a little bit longer, and then I'm going to grab my dragonfly glaze and a flat brush and put it on. While I'm kind of waiting for that acrylic to dry, which is totally dry already, by the way, I just thought I would do the lights around the window. So I have used my Uniball Signal in gold. It's getting a lot of work out today. It's on this page quite a bit, but I thought I would go ahead and do this. I'm trying to think of whether or not I will use a glaze for the light bulbs, or I will use some stickles. I haven't used stickles for a while, and they do give some good bling, so I may try and do that. I'm looking forward to seeing other people's version of some of these pages. So hopefully everyone is having a chance to finish a few pages off and send them in. There you go. I think that looks good. I'm going to let that dry. I'll do the other side, and then we will apply the dragonfly glaze. All right, the gold is on, and I've got a little bit of dragonfly glaze on my meet-in palette. And again, this has become quite a handy palette. It's the lid. Going over the whole window area lightly, so you don't need much. The thing though is you want to make sure you're not going over anything that was water soluble, like I mentioned earlier, but also you're not going to be able to touch up or change, add anything else. So if you're not done with your color pencil, then don't do this until you are finished. So if you're not sure if you're done with all your layers, then just wait till the very end. I just like to do this with you on camera, so that's why. And I am going to go around and just do a little bit. I'm not going to go on top of the girl though, just going to kind of do the gray area. Okay, that way it gives it a little bit of shine. There you go. You can see it shining. Grab my stickles and see if we can make some of these lights twinkle. And then that will be it for today. I have selected the crystal stickles. There's a bunch of stickles that are clear, and I thought that that would be the best. Okay, one last thing we're going to do together before I leave you is I have decided to, the top of the book was just white paper. I've decided to make it dark sky, so I have used a soft brushed Pitt pen, and it is in dark indigo 157, and the soft brush is just extra flexible and stuff, so you can do quite a bit. And so I've just done one coat of that. What I want to do now is take my Winsor Newton gold ink and a small stencil brush, and I'm just going to flick some stars, and I'm going to make them gold. The lights along here look really nice. I think it worked out well. I also, while I was waiting, I did this in green glaze, and I think that looks good. So let's quickly do some of these stars. I'm going to mask off the area because I don't want stars on my actual page itself. Shake this lots. You really have to shake this lots to get the gold. In fact, I might just stir it with a pipette, because I can actually feel the gold on the bottom. Yeah, look at it's all chunky on the bottom. So yeah, get it well stirred, and let's spritz it on. All right, and like I said, I will come in, so there's the gold. You can see it when I move the page. Some stars, and then I will come in with some white and do some white dots, hopefully with a gel pen. If not, I'll use the acrylic gouache. All right, let's I'll go clean up, and then I'll be back. I'll zoom out and show you where I'm going to leave the page for you today. All right, here we are all zoomed out, and here is a last look at the page before I go and finish it on my own. You will see the completed page later on in the month. I think that the little Nutcracker does look great there, and I think he adds a little bit to the page. I like that I did the sky. I think it, and I think that this gold and the stickles really worked well there as well. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and we are getting very close. Today was day 22. Tomorrow or next Wednesday is day 23, and it is the town hall. And then we will be on to the last day, which is the Festive Windows page, which happens to be the front of the book. So I'll leave you with a last look of today's day. I still have a bit more work to do, but I am happy with how this is coming out. I just have some finishing touches to do, and I look forward to showing you the completed page later on. Just a reminder that we used palette number 212, and I think it worked out pretty good, and I'm happy with the results. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you learned a little bit more about the Nutcracker. I know that I certainly have enjoyed seeing it in the past, and I actually would like to see it again. So thank you for spending some time with me today. I hope you have a creative and colorful day, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.